Flares form part of our safety equipment on commercial vessels, and as such they need to be covered in the safety brief, which we give to all people on board, because there's a legal requirement that anybody on board your vessel, when you're the skipper, needs to be told the location and use of personal safety equipment. So flares are often in a waterproof container like this, very easy to recognise, red lid, yellow box. They, on our powerboats, we keep them in a locker, or sometimes they're on a welded frame on the A-frame on the back of a rib. Either way, they're easily accessible, and we need to make sure that we show people where they are. We also then need to explain how to use them and when to use them. Our role as skippers takes us all over the world, and there are international manufacturers of flares, and there's lots of different manufacturers out there. They are all very similar in what they create as a final product though, and the similarities are what we use to make sure that when we get on a boat we can identify the flares and how to use them ourselves, but also we can familiarise ourselves with the products on board and explain, importantly, how to use them to other people. Starting off with then, a rocket flare. So this is a rocket flare. It's made by a company called Icaros. You can see that. So, very easy to identify as a rocket flare because of the pictures on the side. If you have a look at that, there is a picture of the thing being fired, an arrow pointing at the dangerous end, and you can see that there's a parachute floating down with the flare on the bottom. There is a mark on the top saying top. That's the dangerous end that the rocket will come out of, and as is similar with most flares, there is pictorial instructions on the side that explain for us how to use them. Okay, from a safety brief point of view with a rocket flare, where is it, how do you use it, when do you use it? So, it is kept in the container with the other flares, wherever that may be stowed on your boat. When to use it is to be used in a situation of distress, which is defined as grave and imminent danger to person, vessel, vehicle or aircraft. That means grave and imminent is really serious and is happening now, and it's person, vessel, vehicle or aircraft. It's not the family dog, doesn't include the dog, person, vessel, vehicle or aircraft. So that's when to use it, is when there's grave and imminent danger. How to use it, follow the instructions on the side. In my safety brief I like to pass these around to people and get them to hold them, demystify them, get them to read the instructions on the side themselves. But essentially with this model we would indicate that you peel off the base, and unusually rather than a string there is a tab that falls down, and if you look at the picture at number 3, the hand is pushing the tab in an upwards motion, firing the rocket into the air. So that's how you use that. Bit of background on the old rocket flare. It goes 1,000 feet up into the air, or 300 meters. That's a long way, and that means that the flare is able to be seen for a distance of up to 30 miles. Now 30 miles is visible beyond our visible horizon as we're stood on the deck of most of our powerboats. So what that means is there's a 60-mile wide circle, because of the height that the rocket has gone, that this flare can be seen. Okay, so when to use this one, if you can't see any other vessels around in your vicinity, there's a chance that in a 60-mile wide circle there may be somebody who would see your distress flare, so we're going to fire the rocket. Okay, we would also urge you to fire a second one about 30 seconds later. The reason being, in that 60-mile wide circle, somebody over the horizon goes, oh my god, look at that, there's a rocket flare, where did it come from? And then a second one goes off, and hopefully they can do a mayday relay or come and help us. So that's the rocket flare. We may be in sight of other vessels or land when we are in need of help. And again, this is a flare situation, so we're talking distress, grave and imminent danger. And if we're in sight of other people, we would use a hand flare rather than a rocket flare. So a hand flare, just like a rocket flare, just like most other flares, has instructions on the side. So looking at those, it tells you to open the lid, pull the string and wave it over the side of the vessel. The idea is that you open the lid, there's the string inside, you pull the string, a bit like an upside down party popper, hold it over the side of the boat and downwind, it's going to get very, very hot. Okay, and then you would indicate by waving slowly that you need some assistance. Obviously this is a very bad day. Your other forms of assistance like VHF radio, mobile phone, satellite communications, EPIRBs, all of these are not working for you. This is kind of a last resort situation. So where is it with the other flares? Safety brief rules. How do we use it? Open lid, pull the string, safety brief rules. And then background information, how far can we see it for? This is visible for up to about 3 miles. It's a very bright flame. It indicates on the instructions on the information on the side that it burns with a strength of 15,000 candles for 60 seconds. Okay, 15,000 candles, that's pretty hot. This metal tube is going to start to get very hot and going to start to melt, or at least bend. But because of that, the brightness, 3 miles day or night, illuminated because it's a big fire, so you can see it in the daytime too. So that's good. In fact, take a look at this video clip of some RNLI chaps using them on a training exercise. So this is a orange smoke flare. It's a smoke canister. These often come in 2 flavours. You can get a handheld version that produces orange smoke but for less time, or you can get this canister version which produces orange smoke for up to 3 minutes, and it's buoyant. We throw it in the sea. So looking at the instructions on the side, as per normal, open the lid, pull the string or tab inside, and then throw it in the water. Throw it downwind. It's going to produce, as I say, a dense cloud of orange smoke for 3 minutes. So if you're in a distress situation, things are already bad, make sure that it goes downwind, otherwise you won't be able to see and you'll still be in distress. This is a daytime use only flare. Because it's smoke, it's not illuminated like the rocket flare or the handheld flare because they're fire. You can't see smoke in the dark. So it's daytime only. The RYA also teach that this would be the preferred flare if there was a helicopter involved in your rescue effort. You would go with a smoke flare. Certainly not a rocket flare. Don't fire rockets at helicopters, especially when they're trying to help you. And there you go. That is the smoke flare.